presenting something because the temple of April.
One of the best ways to cut yourself short as a human being is to use a job description as a description of your life. So, hi, I'm April, and this is my design story. Once upon a time, there was a lad who wanted to be a great designer. So he went to design school, read some self-help books, and decided to write a self-help book himself specifically for designers. And this here is the lad's work. Many self-help books also claim that what you imagine will manifest itself into reality, and that you need to be careful what you wish for. So one day the same designer woke up and he actually was in the temple of prayer. Every self-help book has a secret, which you need to figure out yourself. So here's a spoiler regarding design. It's all about feeding cars. Fertilizer, plastic, and all the other stuff, they're just a residue from petrol production. And as a designer, we shape this waste from feeding cars into object of desires, like cars for example. The physical process of this design creation is called work. And it's a process of both design creation and fulfillment, often taking place with fluorescent light. Some might call this captivity, some slavery, and again, that's how design works in each prism. Whilst working, you might consider this. One day you'll be dead. Being dead, there are no deadlines, there are no managers, there are no taxes, mortgages, car payments, crisis, problems, antagonist, protagonist, or at least not regarding your work. Being a dead designer, doing the whole ashes to ashes, flesh to worms thing, your designs might actually turn out to outlive you after all. Your design heritage is now called waste, and people have to pay to get rid of it. As one day you rebranded your ecosystem into the market, placed your products into this market, and used an intergenerational finance scheme to have your kids pay for this operation, which you so proudly called your job. But this is not after raising your kids to the religion of crap. Every interhuman interaction can and must be mediated by a consumable product. Or bluntly, by crap, it makes you suck less. Which was a bit of an issue because if you want to have the job to start a family, if the ecosystem in some way starts filling itself with crap, it's useless on both sides. It was obvious that if I were to put this in the book, it wouldn't come to make opera, it wouldn't come to make money, or it wouldn't even get me a job. And people that don't make money are sometimes called artists, and they're sometimes offered space that won't rent out. Being an artist, you don't design anymore, you're practicing material philosophy, which I did. Or you tell stories like that about doing substance abuse with, in a way, turn out to actually be a bit of the same. Many, to most of your surroundings, whether they're your house, workplace, food, city, furniture, or a concept of reality as seen on television, were once merely dreamed in someone's imagination. And with the advent of cheap cut-com, this path from imagination to material reality, it just keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And if you do that process within the temple of crap, it kind of raises questions like, well, why am I producing so much crap, especially since most of which is here is just waste and there wasn't actually that much product. And if reality itself actually is some form of imagination, could it be that the pollution which is created is maybe something of a messenger rather than a message? But still might have a message though. Here I'm looking through the window of a closed paper shop. I'm writing a book in PDF. There's an awakening regarding the amount of stuff that we need. And it's less, a lot less of the same functionality. Regarding the temple itself, once upon a time it was time to leave, but first crap had to leave. And this was hard to get rid of all of it, not because it was actually in a physical temple, but it was in my mind and in my heart, and the experience felt like kind of a breakup. So finally we did left. We left the temple empty and therefore non-existent. The only question is, did the designer created the temple of crap, or the temple of crap created the designer? I made it very well that this was my designer story. Thank you.
So now what?
I have no idea.
Does anyone have an idea? You want ideas? You have an idea.
Can you tell me a bit more about the Temple of Crab? Because it was a real working space. Was it also some place where you showed your work?
It really existed. We showed work there. We did quite some innovative stuff. The CNC machine you saw, in the crab, was actually one of the first attempts to all 3D printing, like prototype type of scheme, that kind of stuff already taking place in 2009. So the way we were kind of early that to do it. Also had exhibitions, interactive installations, and one day we just literally left after getting rid of all the crap, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, on to light and sparkly things and pretty things. Lonneke is sort of one half, actually, of Studio Lift. Lonneke.
What you see here is my living room, and it was like this until last night. And our whole room was full of dandelion seed heads. Because every year when it's dandelion time, we collect dandelions. Huh? Sorry, this is not the right follow. This is another project called Flylight. Our studio is inspired by light installations in environments. I'm a bit distracted because it is still not right following order. What you see here is Luke. He works with us on Flylight, and this is another Flylight. Flylight is based on a flock of birds flying in the sky. They make these patterns, endless patterns that are interesting, and we try to capture this interesting part of the flock of birds and made it three-dimensional and digital. Another project is called Shylight, but this is totally random question, so maybe you should stop it. Is that possible? No?
Okay, we're going to start this. I think this. No problem. Yeah, no, I believe. I wish we had a small temple of crab so that we could just talk about random things in the temple of crab.
I can just.
We don't have one. Just a sec, right now. This is our last night before a summer break. Maybe it's showing. We're getting a bit
Yeah,
tired.
white balance they can fix. But
Yeah, start. I think he deserves another round of applause.
yeah.
systems, electronic systems, and these systems are modules, and the modules connect to each other and it becomes one big electrical circuit with a natural component, and that is the nanoline. Here you see another system, so we can grow any system, small, big, and we look at spaces, reactive spaces, and there we make these installations. Here you see another piece of our work. So each ball you see is a real nanoline to one of these. And the idea is to have a future perspective of what nature needs when we are actually, what we're doing here in this world is eating on nature, building everything, and what in the future if it can't rely on itself and we need to feed it with electricity to have some nature. That is kind of the concept behind it. And we started this project 7 years ago, and just by one idea that came up, and we built out basically our studio about this. So we're constantly busy building new installations with fragile futures. Our project is called. What you see here is another inspiration of another project. It's a flock of birds, and we were very inspired by the constant flow of all these birds in the sky. And wonder why are they doing this? And it's fascinating patterns they make. And we researched the behavior, we translated the behavior into software, and we created an installation that works exactly the same as each individual bird in a flock of birds. So all the lamps in the installation, they work, they react on each other, and you only see still images, but actually it's an installation where the actual materials are still, but the light moves through the installation with a mind of its own, as if it was a flock of birds. And we built these installations in several spaces, in houses, in private residences.